Have you ever wondered how authors create such intricate and believable worlds in their stories? This question leads us to a fascinating journey into the realm of world building, the art of creating a universe for your characters to inhabit. One powerful analogy that encapsulates this concept is the iceberg analogy. Picture an iceberg, vast and imposing. The part that we see above the water's surface is just a fraction of the whole structure. This visible part represents the aspects of your world that are directly revealed to the readers, the characters, the local customs, the immediate plot. But beneath the surface, making up about 90% of the iceberg, is a massive structure unseen by the naked eye. This hidden part symbolizes the underlying details of your world that are not directly presented in the story, such as the history, the economy, the politics, and even the geography. Now, the beauty of this analogy lies in the understanding that the unseen part of the iceberg, the underlying details, are just as important as the visible part. They provide the depth and richness that make your world believable. This is where the art of world building truly shines. It's about comprehending the entirety of your world, not just the parts that are revealed to the audience. The reason for this comprehensive understanding is simple. It helps to avoid inadvertent inconsistencies in your storytelling. Imagine creating a character who is a skilled blacksmith, but later in the story, it's revealed that the world lacks the necessary resources for blacksmithing. Such an inconsistency can jolt readers out of the immersive experience and may diminish their engagement with your story. To avoid such pitfalls, it's crucial to know your world inside out, just as you would know your hometown or your favorite vacation spot. This knowledge helps you in creating a consistent narrative, where every element, whether visible or hidden, works in harmony to create a believable and immersive world. In essence, the more you know about your world, the more consistent and immersive your story becomes. How important is research in fantasy writing? With that question, we dive into the fascinating world of world building. It's a realm where the boundaries of reality are blurred, where dragons fly, and where magic is as common as sunshine. But even in this fantastical realm, research is paramount. Yes, you heard right, research. When we think of research, we often imagine scholars buried in ancient texts or scientists conducting meticulous experiments. But for writers, especially those embarking on the journey of world building, research is just as vital. Why, you ask? Well, consider this. Even in a world that defies our earthly laws, there must be logic. There must be consistency. There must be reasons behind each element, each creature, each cultural norm. Without understanding the why behind each aspect of your world, you risk creating a world that feels hollow, or worse, inconsistent. Take the dragons, for instance. If they exist in your world, why do they exist? Are they revered as divine creatures, feared as monstrous beasts, or are they simply part of the natural fauna? Understanding the why behind their existence adds depth to your world, making it more believable and engaging. Similarly, if your world has a unique cultural element, say a festival that celebrates the end of winter, you need to understand why it's celebrated. Is it to mark the return of warmer weather, or is it to honor a mythical hero who saved the world from eternal winter? The geographical elements of your world too, from towering mountains to vast oceans, should not be mere backdrops. They should have a reason for their existence, influencing the narrative and the characters' lives. In essence, research is the thread that weaves together the fabric of your world, giving it depth, texture, and authenticity. It helps you, the author, to understand the entirety of your world, not just the tip of the iceberg. So even in a world where dragons roam, understanding the why behind their existence is key. What makes a seaside town different from a mountaintop town? It's a question that might seem simple at first glance, but holds the key to understanding the essence of world building. Imagine the salty breeze of the sea, the sound of waves crashing against the shore, the sight of seagulls swooping down to catch their meal. The life in a seaside town is dictated by the rhythm of the tides. The residents are likely to be fishermen or traders, their houses built on stilts to withstand high tides. Their diet, primarily seafood, reflects their environment. Even their clothing, light and airy, caters to the humid climate. Now transport yourself to a mountaintop town where the air is thin and the temperature drops as the sun sets. The residents here lead a starkly different life. They might be shepherds or miners, their homes nestled into the mountainside, built to withstand heavy snowfall and strong winds. Their diet is likely to be meat-heavy, with roots and berries supplementing the scarcity of fresh produce. Their clothing, thick and warm, is designed to combat the harsh, cold climate. The geographical location and the climate of a town significantly influence its way of life, from the type of houses built to the food consumed, from the occupations of its residents to the clothes they wear. It's not just about the physical aspects either. The geographical location and climate also shape the town's culture, its traditions, its festivals, and even its folklore. A seaside town might celebrate the arrival of a certain fish during a particular season, while a mountaintop town might have a festival to appease the mountain gods to ensure a safe winter. The tales told around the fireside in the evening might be about sea monsters in one town, and in the other, about spirits that dwell in the mountain caves. Remember, location and climate are the starting points in shaping the life of your town's inhabitants. They lay the groundwork for the more nuanced aspects of your world, like culture and governance, which we'll delve into in the next part of this series. How do local flora and fauna impact the town's way of life? That's the question we're exploring in this scene. Picture a town nestled by a raging river, surrounded by lush forests. The abundance of vegetation and diverse wildlife will undoubtedly play a significant role in the town's way of life. The inhabitants might be skilled hunters, relying on the forest's bounty for sustenance. Or perhaps they're herbalists, making use of the wide array of medicinal plants dotting the forest floor. But what if we introduce a mythical element? Suppose there's a dragon living in the nearby mountains. The presence of such a creature could drastically alter the town's dynamics. The townsfolk might have to develop unique strategies to protect themselves and their livestock, or maybe they formed a mutually beneficial relationship with the dragon. A fascinating twist, right? Now let's shift our focus to governance. The leadership and governing principles of a town significantly shape its character. Is it a monarchy, with a king or queen ruling by divine right? Or a democracy, where the townsfolk have a say in the town's affairs? These governing principles affect everything from trade practices to curfews, shaping the daily rhythms of the town. Consider a town council that strictly regulates trade, leading to a booming black market. Or a monarch who imposes a curfew at sundown, prompting the townsfolk to adopt nocturnal habits. Each decision made by the governing body leaves an indelible mark on the town's identity. And so, we see how the local flora and fauna, coupled with the governance of a town, deeply influence the way of life of its inhabitants. Whether it's the presence of a mythical dragon influencing defense strategies, or a town council dictating trade practices, each element adds depth and complexity to the town's identity. From dragons to town councils, every element adds a layer to your town's identity. And understanding these layers is key to building a world that feels real, rich, and utterly captivating. How does culture evolve in response to the environment? This question is a fascinating exploration into the intricate dance of nature and civilization. The environment, from the climate to the flora and fauna, provides the backdrop on which the culture of a town is painted. It influences traditions and customs, dictates the style of clothing, and determines how resources are utilized. Imagine a seaside town. The ocean's bounty shapes the local cuisine, with seafood being a staple. The local attire might be lightweight and breathable, suitable for the warm, humid climate. Festivals and traditions may revolve around the sea, perhaps a celebration of a good catch or a ritual for safe voyages. On the other hand, consider a town nestled in the mountains. The culture here could be vastly different. With limited arable land, the inhabitants might rely on livestock and foraging. Their clothing, designed to withstand the cold, could be heavy and layered. Their traditions might include rites to appease the mountain spirits or festivals celebrating the brief but vibrant summer bloom. Now let's weave in the thread of history. History is a silent player, a constant presence that shapes the culture and the very essence of a town. It's in the town hall that was once a fortress, the annual fair commemorating a historic battle, or the orphanage established after a devastating war. These historical elements add a richness, a depth, and a sense of authenticity to your town. They transform it from a mere backdrop into a living, breathing entity with a past, a present, and a future. So, when you're building a town in your fictional world, remember to imbue it with a culture that evolves in response to the environment. And don't forget to thread in the tapestry of history, because it's history that breathes life into the stones of your town, that whispers tales in the wind, and that shapes the people and their ways. The past is always present, shaping the culture and the very essence of your town. Remember this as you delve into the art of world building, and your readers will be drawn into a world that feels real, immersive, and truly lived in.